So I was reading about Benjamin Fischel, who wrote about how he loves to meditate, but some days he just can't make it work. He wants to be focused, but he's so tired and he just can't concentrate. And when he thought he'd just, chill out for a bit, that didn't work either because he had this nagging feeling about all that was pending. If that sounds familiar, let me know. We have all been there. And so good to see Dara, Ajit, Prabhat, Pranam Pepe. So about 6 months ago, Benjamin's meditation practice had been going really well. And I quote, I was feeling incredibly content just with life in general. But after a couple of weeks of travel, difficulties with work and family commitments, I found myself just super tired. And my mind started racing a lot more than it had been. Mentally, Benjamin said, I felt like I had lost my inner calm, like I had taken one step forward and two steps back. So I tried to do what I always do, meditate. But for a couple of weeks, I was approaching the practice with the completely wrong attitude. I started trying to use meditation as my medication, and it had the opposite intended effect. And that's such an interesting thing to think about. Meditation, when used in the wrong way, can have the opposite intended effect. For Benjamin, it just wasn't working, and he started to get annoyed with the entire thing. So he tried harder and harder and harder, and every day he would sit down to meditate, only to leave each session feeling even more tired than when he started. And it was at this point that he decided to shift his focus to other ways to calm his mind, at least until he had more energy. And this is the interesting thing that, as I was reading up and looking at things, I just have been so tired myself. And, it's been kind of 14-hour days for the last week or so. And I found that, okay, you know what, deep breathing is maybe not working this week. And I realized that just like Benjamin had found out, from his own sort of practice of meditation and study about it, that in times of stress, we can sometimes start to resent the things that we love. And a calm mind is a focused mind. A tired mind doesn't have the resources to stay focused. So, forcing your tired mind to try to focus is sometimes actually very hard. And it's an important reality of the human brain that the more tired we are, the more fatigued we are, the more thoughts start to race within us. Anxiety and tiredness, they work on sort of a feedback loop. So when you're struggling with one, it's inevitable you're going to have problems with the other. And while meditation is, even now, scientifically, it is the one of the most effective ways to calm your mind. It's not an option when you're super tired, like I am this week. So there are other ways which, doing things that naturally focus our mind outside of ourselves, it helps to guide our brain to releasing calming neurochemicals, is what scientists say. So I found 5 ways to calm our minds that don't require as much mental energy as meditation. And in the short term, they have the same effect on our mood, even though I think on a long term, yes, trying to come back to deep breathing, trying to come back to visualization or any form of meditation is probably actually better in the long run for stress. So here are the 5 things that I found, uh, actually suggested by Benjamin Fischel. So one is do something complex but not too difficult. That might feel kind of strange. Like, what? I'm already tired. Like, how am I going to do this stuff when I'm already feeling tired? Well, it's said that the default mode network is, this part of the brain that is associated with reflections about yourselves. Thoughts like, oh, I feel lazy today, or should I text, should I text Shine back now or later? Or I'm starting to get hungry, maybe I should get a snack. So, meditation researchers call this mind wandering. It takes up a huge portion of our waking life. And when we're tired or anxious, our mind wanders more than usual, which makes us then feel even more tired and more anxious. So, there are two commonly used ways we can consistently quiet this default mode network. It has the acronym DMN. The first, of course, is meditation. The second is engaging in a complex task. You know that people use coloring books? It's effective because the task is a little bit complex and therefore it brings mindfulness. So you can pick something you regularly do, like drawing or sports or creative writing or music or a work project, and just slightly increase the difficulty. So, with drawing, for example, you can try and draw something that is a little bit more of a challenge. Or with sports or writing, just try setting the bar a little bit higher. Do something just a little more difficult. And for me, I think crosswords, brain games, word games, these are fun. They make my brain feel stimulated. So that's one. Do something complex when you're really tired, even though it seems counterintuitive. Second, do something for someone else. I love this suggestion. This is another way we can get out of our own heads when exhaustion starts to set in. Obviously, you don't want to do anything too strenuous, but even doing simple things when focusing on others can help you quiet your racing mind or even give your brain a jump start. And you can make it a habit to, let's say, contact someone that you feel may need it, or you can spend some quality time volunteering or building something that might help others. Focusing on the well being of the community can also give us purpose and meaning, which can be very reinvigorating because it also gives us a morale boost. So, for instance, if you're taking a break at home, maybe if you're living with other people, get a glass of water for everyone at the house, even without them having asked for it. It's gonna get you a surprised look, like, oh, that's sweet. Maybe a thank you, maybe a hug. If nothing else, it makes you walk around the house. So do something for someone else even when you're feeling exhausted. And again, there are boundaries. Make sure that you're not doing it just for approval or out of a sense of obligation, but more like to break your day up. Third, do something fun and creative. Nalini just said origami works both, actually, I think, as a complex task tool as well as something fun and creative. When we're trying too hard to feel better, all the effort we're putting in can defeat the purpose and be kind of damaging to us, actually. So doing something fun can help us break that cycle, and this is because dopamine has a re-energizing effect on the nervous system. And by engaging in play and creativity and imagination, we recharge our depleted energy reserves. For example, some people do free writing, mind maps. Essentially, they set a timer for 15 minutes and they let all their thoughts out on paper, and they create mind maps for how they relate to each other or how they want to work on a particular project. And you can do this to even express just any creative idea you have or any sort of thing that you're trying to figure out. It helps you feel like your thoughts are more organized and focused and not scattered and distracted. Honestly, trying anything artistic like painting or even Lego if you have kids, or even if you don't have kids, all this can be effective. And even if it's something new, you can always look on YouTube. There's hundreds of tutorials. For me, last night I called a friend and I had been feeling like I wanted to collaborate with this friend. We ended up writing a song on the spot, and she's in New York, I'm here in Boston now. It took about 90 minutes, but we did it. And what was fun was that it was really challenging. We had no deadline or motivation other than let's do this, and we started brainstorming. And I told her, maybe I just want to write a song about nothing. And we have it. I'm actually hoping that we can release it soon. It was the most fun I had in a long time. And those 90 minutes had everything. I was using my brain in so many different ways, rhyming lyrics, thinking of harmony, thinking of groove. I felt energized. So do something creative and fun. Fourthly, get exercise and then take a long nap. Exercise can also feel counterproductive when you're very tired, but when we're mentally exhausted, it can mess with our sleep cycle. Of course, this varies depending on each individual, but it's largely because Exhaustion and anxiety impact our ability to wind down before bed, which is critical to getting good sleep. And when you have unconscious worries in your mind, it keeps you awake at night and it stops us from getting to a deep state of sleep. So, by exercising and then maybe eating a nice healthy meal, and then, you know, let's say reading something and then getting a long nap or a long period of sleep can really be restorative. This isn't an invitation to oversleep, but yeah, if it's been a while since you got some sleep, it's exactly what you need. Turn that Netflix series off, stop checking Instagram, go to bed, and maybe even try not looking at screens about 2 hours before you go to sleep. So, using exercise to actually get you a little more tired and also get the blood flowing, amazing to jumpstart your mood and get you out of your funk. All right, fifthly, try doing something social. Now this is interesting for me. A lot of people think I'm an extrovert, but I think I'm an extroverted introvert. And I think that most people believe that introverts are drained by social interaction, and I think I definitely feel that sometimes. Typically, when I'm interacting with maybe someone that I'm not as comfortable with. So if you're an introvert, maybe try to find someone that you always have fun with, someone who you feel really relaxed around, where you're not having to try to make conversation, but you just have fun with them. And engage in a social situation that is not anxiety inducing. When we do this, we naturally get out of our own heads and we begin to recharge. And for me, this week, at the beginning of the week, I hung out with my dear buddy Ayumi, and we took bikes. We went, you know, out for a ride, and we went to a Japanese market. And I'm so comfortable with her that, if I don't feel like talking, I don't have to. But of course, we ended up talking and enjoying ourselves. And I know Sunny, who's often online. He travels a lot and with people sometimes, and that's such an amazing thing to do. So, you know, uh, once again, if I recap, doing something complex, right, but not too difficult, doing something for someone else, doing something fun and creative, getting exercise and then really winding down, getting a good nap, or doing something social with someone that you're really comfortable with. These are super alternatives if you don't feel like meditating. And while, of course, it's a good idea to try to develop a meditation practice or a mindfulness practice because there is so much stress in our lives, it's hard to do it when everything is kind of helter skelter in your life. So it's great to have short term solutions like this to help get your energy back. So today, instead of our deep breathing, I want to use our clapping sign off. Most of you who join me very often, you know this routine. It's something that Ayumi taught me. It's a Japanese thing. I'm not going to go into details, but you clap 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Hey, and you do that 3 times and you make as much noise as you can. All right, so everyone ready? I'm going to turn the music down. And here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Hey! Hey! Yay! I hope that you clapped with me. I hope that if you missed the clap, you rewind this video and you clap with me. It's one of the coolest things. I love especially doing this, at the beginning of a project with a huge group of people, or at the end of a project, even at the end of a meal. We used to do that in Japan. It's so much fun. So just remember 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, hey, and make noise, because you know what? Even that is such a great way to kind of jumpstart your mood. So have a beautiful day, whatever it is that, gets your mind a little bit detached from your worries or your problems. Make sure you're doing that. I love that Palak said some people, like Palak, read about extraterrestrial life. That's amazing. Do you, no matter what, just do you. Be yourself, enjoy yourself, have a great, great weekend. I am going to sleep. I haven't been sleeping, and I'm definitely gonna sleep. So love you all. I will see you so soon. Mwah! Bye.